Illegal, contrary to international law and in breach of UN conventions. As judges from the International Court of Justice arrived on Friday, they carried with them a damning verdict. In it, Israel was judged to have repeatedly contravened numerous international treaty obligations and human rights laws.
These policies and practices are designed to maintain in place indefinitely, to remain in place indefinitely and to create irreversible effects on the ground. Consequently, the Court considered that these policies and practices amount to annexation of large parts of the occupied Palestinian territory.
The verdict was part of an advisory opinion provided by the ICJ at the request of the UN General Assembly. The court said in order to comply with international law, Israel needed to dismantle settlements in the occupied territories, allow Palestinians to return there, and compensate those who couldn't. Israel had argued that its occupation of the West Bank and East Jerusalem was temporary and needed to guarantee its safety. The judges rejected those arguments.
The nature of Israel's acts, including the fact that Israel frequently confiscates land following the demolition of Palestinian property for reallocation to Israeli settlements, indicates that its measures are not temporary in character.
Speaking after the hearing, Palestinian Foreign Minister Riyad al-Maliki said the judgment meant other countries now needed to review their relationships with Israel to make sure they were not also in breach of international law.
States and the UN are now under obligation not to recognize the legality of Israel's presence in the occupied Palestinian territory and to do nothing to assist Israel in maintaining this illegal situation.
Responding to the ICJ on social media, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said, "The Jewish people are not occupiers in their own land, including in our eternal capital Jerusalem, nor in Judea and Samaria, our historical homeland. No absurd opinion in The Hague can deny this historical truth or the legal right of Israelis to live in their own communities in our ancestral home." Israel may not be able to contend with the conclusions drawn by the ICJ, but whether it complies with them remains to be seen. Previous ICJ judgments have been ignored by Israel, and any efforts to enforce the court's statements are usually vetoed by the United States at the UN Security Council. The ICJ may have demolished Israel's legal arguments for being in the occupied Palestinian territories. It may not change the reality for Palestinians there. Joel Flynn, TRT World in The Hague.